Tell us about Rival, how that started, your company.
One quote that I read that gave me more respect for your company is that you said there were businessmen that were looking to infiltrate the boxing world, but you were a boxing guy infiltrating the business world. And I thought that was brilliant. Absolutely
Jerry,
brilliant.
thank God bless you. Thank you very much. I'm glad somebody listens to something.
It was brilliant, brother.
It's,
Yeah.
and I believe that, because if I was
Yeah.
any good at business, Rival would be even more successful than it is now.
Wow.
Like Rival is not successful because of me. It's successful in spite of me,
Yeah.
because I'm not a good businessman. I'm a boxing guy, when I first started selling boxing equipment was in 1985. I had opened my gym in 1983. I started selling boxing equipment in 1985. And I started representing a new company that had emerged in the United States a couple of years earlier, which was called Ringside. And it was a guy who sold equipment out of his garage. And a friend of a former trainer, he passed away now, one of my mentors, a great trainer when we talk about teachers, and Manny might remember who it is John Davenport.
Yeah.
And Davenport said, I told him I was looking for equipment, and he said, well, give these guys a call. And he handed me this tiny little catalog that was made out of newspaper material. That's how little money they had. The catalog was printed on newspaper paper, like that's what it was, right? The cheapest you could get. And, because they were trying to start a business. And after I got his equipment, I loved it so much. I sent him a letter, right? Because we didn't have email then. A letter, by the way, is when you used to write things on a piece of paper, envelope, with a stamp on it, and it would get to a next destination a week later. But I sent it off and said, I want to sell your stuff. And I became he says, okay. And he gave me the stuff at a discount. And I introduced Ringside to Canada. And for 13 years, I had a company called Ringside Canada, and I sold Ringside equipment, and I had gyms and stuff, and I was selling for, I don't know, 200,000-300,000 a year of boxing equipment across the country. It wasn't big, but I was only doing it as an opportunity, as a means to supplement the training of fighters that I wanted to do. So we would go to shows, and I would just set up a table, put the gloves and the equipment on the table, and people would try it on and say, oh, wow, this nice. Yeah, I'd like to buy that. And, I'd sell it, and it paid for the trips, and I was able to buy a van because of that. And I take my fighters where I needed to go. And it gave me an income being at boxing events anyways. And it gave me an income and an opportunity to make some money. So that's how I got started in selling of boxing. And that's still almost true today. Everything I've done in my life, whether it's been TV, whether it's been Rival, everything has been done as a way to supplement an income that allows me to do the career that I'm doing, because I can't live only off of the work I do as a trainer or a cut man. As a trainer, you make 10%, 15%, maybe if I'm lucky. 15%, the only way you could live off that is if your fighter is making millions, that you could live off that. When a fighter's making 40,000 for a fight, and he gives me $4,000 or $5,000, out of that, how, before taxes, how far do you think that gets you? You know how many fights you have to have at $50,000? How many fighters are out there making $50,000 a fight now? There's not. So, so I had to find another way to supplement the income. So after 13 years of selling for Ringside, myself and two other people were released from Ringside without notification. We were fired on the spot for no reason other than whatever John Brown, the mental case, decided he wanted to do. So, okay, so we were gone. So I went to bed on a Friday with a company and a job and an income, and woke up on Monday to no income, no job, no company, no nothing, right? So, and I got notified by fax as well. I got a fax telling me, would you like me to explain what a fax is as well?
Today that would be a tweet. No, you tweet. No.
Yeah.
Tweet.
So yeah, today that would be probably a tweet.
Tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I go for about a year without doing any equipment business, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get back into this? I've got to get back into selling equipment. I've got to make stuff. I got to do something. But I was busy enough because that was the year that Otis Grant fought for the world title twice and then fought Roy Jones. So I was really busy with boxing, and there was a little bit of money coming in. So I wasn't I wasn't homeless yet. You know what I mean? It was still okay. I got a call when we were in training camp for the Ryan Rhodes fight when Otis fought for the world title. And it was from one of the guys that was fired by John Brown as well, along with me, saying that they had started a company called Title Boxing.
I remember Title.
You guys know Title now. And they wanted me to be the representative in Canada. And so I just transitioned that, parlayed that right into, yep, guys, okay. I knew them. They knew me. And I started selling title equipment. And I realized at that point, like, and right away, people started buying from me again. Go to the shows, put out the stuff, show them I got this new brand. And people right away were buying. And I realized that they weren't just buying the equipment, but there was a certain amount of trust and confidence in buying it from me.
I see that. Well,
yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. And the equipment was good. It's not like it wasn't good equipment because I had to sell good equipment. I'm not going to sell junk. And Title was good equipment. So during that time, I get a visit at my office by a vendor from Pakistan who has been making motorcycle equipment, chaps, saddlebags, gloves, all the leatherware, jackets. And he was in town visiting some of his customers. And he asked one of them, do they know anybody who's in boxing? Because they've started up a division in their factory of making boxing equipment. And the guy that he asked knew who I was. He had known me through my father because my father used to sell him buckles for their motorcycle wear. And he knew I was in boxing. So he said, yeah, they go see Russ Anber. So this guy comes to see me. And at the time it was right around that time that I'm toying with the idea of starting my own brand, because what's happening is I'm selling equipment for Title, but I work and go to work every day and sell equipment. And then at the end of the year, after selling for 200,000 for the year or 250 or whatever, I made no money. I just broke even, so I'm not making any money. I'm paying bills, but not making any money. Right. So I start toying with the idea that I need to start being able to make my own money on this, and my brother comes up with the name Rival. And I did a few drawings and I had a few ideas of what I wanted to do. So this guy comes to see me out of the blue and I tell him, I said, that's really interesting. I'd really love to do that. And I figured, wow, this is like a godsend, this is like, it's right at the right time. This guy's sent here to help me out. Wow. And I said to him, what's the minimum? And he said, one container, we'll do one container for you. No problem. And that's kind of when my shoulders slumped. And I said, I thank you very much. I really appreciate the offer, but I said, I can't afford it. Like I can't afford a container, but if I ever do, I'll keep you in mind, and give me his card. And I shook his hand and he left. And the next day I'm in my office and they buzz me on the phone and they say, Mr. Tariq is here to see you. Why? So, okay, send them up. So he comes up and he says, oh, Mr. Russ, he says, I don't sleep last night. I said, why? What happened? He says, I thinking about what you wanted to do. And I think a lot about what you said and what you want to do. And he says, I think Rival could be very, very successful. Wow. He said, forget the minimums. He says, you just tell me what you want and I'll do it for you. And I said, well, I've only got $2,000 to my name. He says, okay, no problem. I said, but if you do that, I said, I promise you every order after that will be for more. It might be only by $1 more, but it'll be for more. And he said, okay, no problem, Mr. Russ. And I gave him my first order, and that's how I started Rival.